This is Optimal Relationships Daily, episode 411. Why My Relationship Failed and What You Can Learn From It Today by Corbano of lovesagame.com. Happy Monday, everyone. I'm Joss Marie, and I'm here to help you optimize your relationships by bringing you some of the best relationship blogs we can find. I narrate them just like an audiobook 5 days a week, so you can go at your own speed and pause or rewind whenever necessary. And to make sure you get all the new episodes sent to your mobile device, simply hit the subscribe button in your favorite podcast app. But with that, let's dive right into Eddie's post on learning from past mistakes and start optimizing your life. Why My Relationship Failed and What You Can Learn From It Today by Corbano of lovesagame.com. A few months before my breakup happened, everything seemed fine. It wasn't all perfect, but still, we were together, so I thought. I felt, however, that my affection towards her wasn't built on healthy ground. The love I had for her began to feel more and more like a painful dependence than actual love. I remember talking to a friend a few months before the actual breakup happened. I remember saying something to him that sounds so terribly sick to me today, but actually perfectly defined my psychological condition, which I've described before. He confided in me his worries about the relationship with his girlfriend and that they had somehow grown apart. He was worried that they were going to split up. I remember it as if it had happened yesterday. I told him that I was sorry and added this little sentence to it. If my girlfriend were ever to leave me, my life would be over. A few months after that, I was dumped for real. And it just felt for a relatively long time exactly as if my life was over. It was a self-fulfilling prophecy. That little sentence, which I added so lightly back then as though I was bulletproof from heartbreak, revealed a lot about me at that time. It was the arrogant statement of someone who felt that he was doomed, someone who would rather take the easy way out than deal with his own shortcomings. What did that say about me? And could it be your problem too? The bottomless pit. Quote, "She lacks confidence, she craves admiration insatiably. She lives on the reflections of herself in the eyes of others. She does not dare to be herself." Anais Nin. During the whole relationship, I strongly believed a few key things that I now know defined how I reacted towards her. These beliefs happened to shape our whole relationship. I felt that she was the best thing that had ever happened to me, that she was the most beautiful girlfriend I'd ever had, and here it comes, that I didn't deserve her at all. Being with her felt as if Cupid had made a terrible mistake. I distinctly remember that this was my main and strongest belief, that she was way too good for me. Such a belief is very powerful, and it will take its toll eventually, and so it did. "You just don't love yourself much, do you?" someone said to me after it happened. And that was right on. The underlying issue was a lack of self-love and self-esteem. What happens then is that you define yourself through this relationship. You experience self-worth only through your partner, and this will lead to all kinds of toxic relationship symptoms. You will be overly jealous. You will be controlling and demanding. You will think that you are the only one who cares for this relationship. You will suck the life out of the relationship by making it all about you. And all of this makes sense when you keep in mind that you have to feed this hungry and all-consuming need, receiving self-worth from your partner. The moment this toxic and selfish need isn't met, you will feel bad and manipulate your partner into feeling the same. It's a bottomless pit. It will become a destructive pattern that will eventually cost the relationship. Are you making the same mistake? Why am I telling you this? Should you suffer from a breakup right now, chances are that you went through a similar pattern. I'm not saying that it was you who destroyed the relationship with toxic behavior, because not all of us resort to such behavior when this need of significance isn't met. Many of us withdraw, become depressive, disconnect, and maybe fall into a passive aggression pattern. But what most of us have in common is the lack of a sense of our worth, a strong disconnection from our real me. The good news is that when you know what the disease is, then you can start looking for a cure. It's easy to fall into despair when you can't connect the dots, and you'll just feel like you are racing the vicious cycle of failed relationships. When you suffer through a recent breakup and you believe that you fall into the prior described category, then there are 3 things you must do. Number 1, remove your self-worth giver. Go no contact. Number 2, reconnect to your true self. And number 3, work on your self-worth. self-love, self-esteem, and an additional secret component. By the way, these are 2 of the 7 steps to authentic love that I teach in my detox course, which is part of my new Authentic Love program. Conclusion. Quote, "Don't rely on someone else for your happiness and self-worth. Only you can be responsible for that. If you can't love and respect yourself, no one else will be able to make that happen. Accept who you are completely, the good and the bad, and make changes as you see fit, not because you think someone else wants you to be different." Stacy Charter. The sentence I said to my friends so many years ago perfectly predicted my future suffering. It condensed so well what my core problem was and how it pervaded and corrupted the relationship I had. This was, of course, only one of the reasons for my breakup. The other main one was a huge incompatibility between the 2 of us and a bunch of minor things, all of which I've learned about in my recovery and the relationship inventory that I've made. If you find yourself struggling with similar things that I did back then I urge you to work on yourself. Work on yourself hard and break that cycle of failed relationships that you are most probably going to go through your whole life. Because one fatal peculiarity of looking for self-worth outside of yourself is that it doesn't really go away. It keeps sabotaging your relationships and attracting the wrong partners. That is why we keep running into the same kind of relationships over and over again. Start to break the cycle today and attract the right partner for you, so that sometime in the future, instead of the sentence I said, you might say, "I love being in this relationship, but if it were to end for whatever reason, I would be okay. I won't lose myself." This is what I wholeheartedly wish for you. Your friend, Eddie Corbano. You just listened to the post titled, "Why My Relationship Failed and What You Can Learn From It Today" by Eddie Corbano of lovesagame.com. Wow, it's amazing how learning from others can save us a whole lot of time, pain, and heartache. A toxic relationship can be tremendously damaging because of what it does to our self-esteem and identity. A healthy partner would never expect you to define your self-worth solely through the relationship. So thank you so much to Eddie for reminding us that it's never too late to break a negative cycle. And with that, let's wrap up today's self-reflective post. Thank you so much for joining me here, and I'll see you again tomorrow with a post from loves.com, where your optimal life awaits.
Hello, Life Optimizer. This is Justin Malik, creator and producer of this podcast, but also Optimal Living Daily, the show where I read to you from even more blogs covering finance, productivity, minimalism, personal development, and more from incredible bloggers like Derek Sivers, Zen Habits, Mark and Angel, The Minimalists, and all the ones you hear on this show too. So if you enjoyed today's episode and like taking amazing blogs on the go, come on over to Optimal Living Daily and subscribe to that one too. And together, we'll start optimizing your life.
You've been listening to Optimal Living Daily. Be sure to hit the subscribe button to stay up to date on each new episode, and head to oldpodcast.com. That's OLDpodcast.com for a free gift, as well as more actionable tips and resources to help you maximize your potential. Thanks for joining us, and remember, your optimal life awaits.